Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast.
Today we're looking at Veeva Systems, VEEV. The big question we're tackling is, given its recent upward momentum, is it a good time to buy now?
We want to hear from you. Subscribe, like, and comment to support the show. And if there's a specific company you want us to look into, leave it in the comments below.
So let's get into the analysis. The foundational investment thesis around Veeva is that it's pretty much the textbook definition of a compounder stock. A reliable market leader whose earnings continually grow and reinvest, multiplying value over the long term. This confidence, it's rooted entirely in its vertical focus. It's a software as a service provider dedicated exclusively to the life sciences sector.
That vertical focus, that's the key differentiator, right?
Yeah.
It means their product isn't just like general cloud storage or some basic sales tool. It's regulatory compliance and drug development workflow baked directly into the software. And in a field governed by the FDA and global regulatory bodies, that specificity is gold.
It absolutely is. And, well, the financial health of the company really reflects that specialized, indispensable success. If you look at the balance sheet, it is exceptionally strong, offers maximum insulation against economic shocks.
Okay, give us the numbers that tell that story, because they sound pretty staggering.
Well, we're talking about an effective debt-free status. The total debt-to-equity ratio is only 0.01. I mean, that is almost unheard of for a company scaling globally. Furthermore, liquidity is phenomenal. They boast a current ratio of 5.6. That means for every dollar of short-term liability they have, they possess like $5.60 in liquid assets ready to cover it.
Wow, that level of financial security doesn't just reduce risk, it also implies huge strategic optionality, doesn't it? They could fund large-scale internal projects, accelerate R&D, or maybe pursue a strategic acquisition without having to tap debt markets or dilute shareholders significantly.
Precisely. They are funding growth internally and efficiently. That efficiency really shows up in the operating metrics. Their margins are, frankly, best in class for software. The EBIT margin, that's earnings before interest and taxes, is a huge 35.4%, and the net profit margin sits around 27.3%.
Wait, hold on. A 35% EBIT margin? That is massive. For comparison, I mean, many excellent horizontal software companies might struggle to crack 20%, maybe 25%.
Yeah.
How does a vertical specialist like Veeva pull that off? Is it just about cutting costs?
It's primarily driven by their high client stickiness and pricing power, because their product is mission critical and validated for compliance. Think of the Vault platform managing clinical trial data or regulatory submissions. They just avoid the typical discount pressures faced by general software companies. They have pretty inelastic demand because, well, ripping them out costs more than paying their price.
Right. Makes sense. And crucially, they haven't sacrificed growth for those margins, have they?
Not at all. The 5-year revenue compound annual growth rate is still clocking in at a robust 18.26%. So yeah, it seems they're managing to outpace most of their software peers while maintaining this stellar profitability.
Okay, those fundamentals paint a beautiful picture. But this brings me to the essential investor question. Why are these high numbers sustainable? Why can't a rival, maybe a generalist cloud provider with deeper pockets, eventually come in and just offer a cheaper solution?
Right. This is where the competitive moat, the defensibility of their business model really comes into play. Veeva's platforms, Vault for R&D quality regulatory, commercial cloud for sales and marketing, and the newer Crossix for data analytics, they are not just interchangeable apps. They are deeply integrated into the client's core IP generation and compliance workflows.
You mentioned high switching costs. Can you paint a picture for us, like a specific example of why it's so difficult to leave Veeva?
Sure. Think about the process of drug development. Every time a pharmaceutical company runs a clinical trial or submits a regulatory filing to the FDA or EMA, the system handling those documents and data must be validated. If you use Veeva Vault for this, that validation process is done within their ecosystem. Switching providers means revalidating every single past and present clinical process under the new system. It's an enormous, multi-year, multi-million-dollar regulatory headache.
Okay. So ripping out Veeva is essentially like trying to change the foundational plumbing in a high-rise hospital right in the middle of a massive inspection. No pharma CEO wants that liability.
Exactly. Precisely. And the client list confirms this depth of embedment. Veeva serves nearly all major pharmaceutical companies globally. That fact alone ensures stable, recurring revenues because contract renewals are basically the default. And it provides massive potential for cross-selling their different platforms to this captive, highly reliable audience.
So that regulatory expertise is the final wall then. It keeps generalist tech companies, even huge ones like Salesforce, whom they have a complicated relationship with, from truly competing in this niche.
Correct. Yeah, the compliance barrier is just too high for horizontal players to clear quickly. Now let's talk about the price tag, because quality like this, well, it does not come cheap. If the company looks this good, investors are going to pay a premium. Veeva trades at roughly 36 times forward earnings and about 13.9 times price to sales.
Whoa, okay. 36 times forward earnings, even for a growth company, that sounds like a very steep hill to climb. If you're paying that multiple, you're demanding near-perfect execution and sustained, maybe even accelerating growth, aren't you?
You are absolutely right to challenge that. It's a fair point. However, the sources note two crucial things. First, the 36x PE is actually lower than its 5-year historical average. So the valuation has moderated somewhat from its peak levels. Second, investors aren't just paying for growth, they are paying for predictability and quality, that near debt-free balance sheet we talked about, and the 35% margin profile, the stability.
Right, okay. So we're looking at a case where the stock is expensive, definitely expensive, but maybe, just maybe, it's justified because the earnings quality is so high and the business is so defensible. Is that the idea?
That is the consensus, yeah. And looking at the technical picture, the stock is trading near the top of its 12-month range, which spans from about $201 up to $310. The recent closing price was around $295.
And we often see technicals confirm the fundamental story. Are the short-term indicators, the charts, supporting that upward movement?
They are, actually. We see a confirmed upward bias. The stock is trading comfortably above both the 50-day and 200-day moving averages, which is, textbook bullish. And crucially, momentum indicators like the Relative Strength Index, RSI, and MACD, they look intact. In plain English, that just means the stock is moving up with conviction and volume, but it hasn't quite entered that wildly overbought territory yet.
And the street agrees with this bullish direction. What are the analysts saying?
Decidedly so. Analyst sentiment is robust. The consensus price target is hovering around $300 per share, offering about, 4% upside from that $295 level? And we have 28 analysts rating the stock a solid buy. The institutional confidence is definitely palpable.
Okay, let's shift focus then to what's driving investor activity right now. Because when you look at the recent past, it seems like the smart money has been piling in.
That's right. In the past few months, we've seen a clear institutional trend. Reports indicated several large institutional portfolios were adding or increasing their positions in VEEV back in August. They smell momentum, clearly.
And that institutional conviction seemed to continue through September, right? I remember seeing something about heightened options activity.
Yeah, exactly. Funds were adjusting their derivative exposure, likely anticipating a move, probably positioning around the upcoming earnings report, which, brings us to the most critical near-term event on the calendar. The fiscal Q3 2026 earnings release. That's scheduled for November 20, 2025. And analysts won't just be watching the headline numbers, they will be scrutinizing forward guidance, things like cloud platform adoption rates and, critically, margin trends to make sure that 35% profitability remains secure.
Okay, beyond earnings, what else is expected to potentially move the stock in the short term? Anything else on the radar?
Well, there are two other sort of defined drivers. First, they recently announced a new partnership with Open Evidence to expand the OpenVista platform. Now, this isn't a huge revenue driver yet, but it signals ongoing R&D and collaboration focus, particularly in that data analytics space, which is a key growth area.
Right. And the second driver is more technical, you said, related to market structure.
Yep. Mark December 6, 2025 on your calendar for the major healthcare ETF rebalancing. Because Veeva is such a dominant, high-quality name in healthcare technology, this rebalancing can sometimes generate passive buying pressure. It basically forces institutional flows into the stock, regardless of the short-term price swings.
We should probably also talk more about the operational side, the successes and risks related to their core internal projects.
Yeah.
Just thinking specifically about that CRM migration process everyone's watching.
Oh, absolutely critical. Veeva is continuing its cloud adoption push, leveraging new CRM features, but the underlying CRM migration is a massive undertaking. Updates on customer adoption and, frankly, the success rate during this process are key checkpoints for investor confidence. If that migration stumbles or faces significant delays, it could immediately freeze revenue growth expectations, given how central CRM is to commercial activities in pharma.
Right. Okay, so now we absolutely must balance the excitement with reality and talk about the risks. Even a company this strong has potential vulnerabilities.
Yep.
What are the main company-specific risks we need to keep an eye on?
Yeah, good point. The primary risk is probably customer concentration. They do rely heavily on those major pharma clients. The potential loss of even one major contract could significantly impact revenue and sentiment, just given the sheer size of those deals. Secondly, that execution risk we just touched on. The complexity of successfully integrating new technologies or completing that ongoing CRM migration perfectly, it's a big job.
And then there are external pressures too, right? Or just that high premium valuation catching up to them if the market turns.
Exactly. If the broader market experiences a correction, high multiple stocks like Veeva are often hit hardest, regardless of their fundamentals. But this being a high-growth tech name, there's also, plenty of speculative buzz potentially driving the price up, which can exaggerate those moves both ways.
So what are the juiciest rumors floating around? Anything the market's buzzing about that could accelerate growth beyond what analysts are currently modeling?
Well, three things kind of stand out in the chatter. First, there are these rumors circulating about a potential strategic acquisition, maybe grabbing some smaller digital health startups to expand their data analytics or patient engagement offerings. This would be a perfect use of that robust cash position they have.
Okay, interesting. What else?
Industry chatter also suggests Veeva is actively exploring expanding its cloud market services into new geographies, particularly looking hard at the Asia-Pacific or APAC region. That could open up a whole new geographic growth pillar if it pans out. And finally, given the strong cash position and continued profitability, some market analysts have floated the possibility of the company initiating a share buyback program, to juice shareholder returns and signal confidence.
So when we synthesize all this, the best-in-class financials, the deep regulatory moat, those near-term catalysts, the institutional buying, the consensus is clearly leaning bullish, isn't it?
It is. Veeva holds an overall bullish rating, making it seem ideal for both potential short-term trading around news events like earnings and for that long-term compounding effect we talked about earlier. It's supported by defensible market leadership and ongoing product innovation.
Yeah. The company has unmatched market leadership, top-tier profitability, and high recurring revenue in a completely defensible vertical. It's hard to argue with that. The key question for you, the listener, is whether your conviction in Veeva's sustained market dominance and those defensible growth drivers aligns with paying that premium price, which currently sits around 36 times forward earnings. You definitely get the quality, but are you willing to pay top dollar for that perceived perfection and hope? Execution remains absolutely flawless. That's the challenge.